Why would I want to bring God into my bedroom? It's a very, very good question. And Rav Nathan, why are you telling me that I can and that I should? It's not a simple thing for people, because people view God as one that puts limitations on their life, one that tells them that they can do this, but they can't do this, that, and the other. One that tells them that, you need to be a slave to a certain thing in order to be a religious person. And that really is a very, very unhealthy way of looking at God, because in truth, God is all about freedom. God is about true freedom. Slavery is what Western society is teaching us, that we have to do what our next door neighbor says, or what our boss says, or what someone else thinks about us, and that's what runs our life. Whereas freedom is about doing that rises us up as better people, as good people, to do good in the world, and to fully enable us to pursue those things that we are good at in life. That's what God does. He gives us those powers, and he says, by creating certain boundaries or by creating certain situations, that's how you are going to achieve. It's not different when it comes to the bedroom or wherever you decide to have sexual relationships with your spouse. It's nothing different when it comes to sexuality. God doesn't create limitations there about who you're allowed to be with and when you're allowed to be with them to make a slave out of you. He actually gives you those limitations and those boundaries in order to rise you up to be a better person in that area with your spouse, right? The reason that it is meant to be with your spouse and no one else, and I'm talking about physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, why you're meant to only make love to your spouse, is very simple. Because in life, if we focus on 1,000 different things at once, well, then that one thing that we're meant to focus on loses out. So when we focus on our partner and only our partner, then we become the best lovers that we can be, right? Instead of seeing that as a boundary, like, oh my gosh, God sucks because he doesn't let me have a threesome or whatever people are wanting to do, right? He's saying to you, I want to make you the best at making love. And the way you're going to do that is to only think about your spouse, to only focus on your spouse. Certain times in the month for the Jewish people is the only times that we can or can't be with our spouse. The reason behind that is because those times are focused to be the best times in my sexual relationship. When I can't touch, then I need to focus on my emotional relationship with my spouse, and it makes me the best at doing that in that time. Like Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon said, Hakol Zman Ba'et, everything has its time. Everything has its time and its place in order to make us the best at that time. So don't push God away out of your bedroom. Don't push him away, bring him in. There are certain people who feel very uncomfortable to think that, well, God's here, well, I can't be naked. Well, number one, he made you. So that's number one. But number two, there's a beautiful concept. And that is that God was both in the temple, that was up on a mountain, high away from the people, right? Everyone was dressed beautifully and clothed and speaking perfectly. He was there, but he was also in the tabernacle, right in the middle of all of those tents where people acted in all different ways that we all act within our home, good, bad, and indifferent, whatever it was. God wants to be wherever you are and wherever you will let him in. And wherever we let him in, that's what makes us a better person. Because he's giving us those kohot, he's giving us those powers to be the best person that we could be at that time. So if you believe that in prayer, concentrating on prayer will make you a better person because you're letting God into your life at that time, even more so when you let him into your bedroom, when you let him into your sex life, you're going to be the best lover that you can be. So anyway, if you want to learn more about that, if you want to discuss more about that, understand more about that, press on the link below or above, wherever it is on Facebook. 3 to tango. It takes 3 to tango, not just you and me, not you and me, but you know what I mean. Not just you and your spouse, but you, your spouse, and God is going to make the best tango you have ever danced in your life. So sign up for the webinar right now. God bless you all.